So just come out of the doctor, just had my health check. It's always one of them things, it's a bit strange. I go to my health check whilst I've got a cold. So again, I'm back in the I've got a cold situation, which always happens just after Christmas. Results of the health check, they give you a massive great big form by the look of it, and they give you a heart age at the end of it, which is a bit like the one I did at work, so body mass, smoking, blah 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 blah. My heart age at the moment is 61. If I bring down my cholesterol and do a bit more exercise and bring down my weight, it can go down to 53, which is still 2 years older than me. I do intend to get fit this year. I do intend to do a bit more. Every time I come to the doctors, I always tend to walk out with a book. Now, I bought a book last time, which I didn't show you, which was a sort of a joke, sort of how the French think they won the war. I haven't read it yet. This time I've bought a pub quiz book because I like watching quizzes on TV with my mum. I watch a fair few of them. I like general knowledge questions. Things like in here, in which city was John Lennon shot in 1980? Simple answer, that one's in New York. Answers are in the back, something interesting to read. The other books I haven't actually read yet because I have a few books I need to read or I want to get into reading. I just haven't had the will to do it. It's not because I haven't had the energy, I just haven't really been bothered, I suppose. I don't know why. Like a lot of things, like music, I haven't been bothered with. There's a few things I just haven't really been into, so hopefully I'm going to do a lot more like this year if I can. As with every year, I've just been into W. Smith's, and every year I do it. I buy the big watch book from Esquire. It's a yearly book. It's fantastic on watches. I've done it for the last 3 years. Strange enough, I haven't read one of them yet. I've got 3 of them now. This is the 3rd, and I haven't actually got around to reading them. They're like a reference point. I will do. I definitely will do, because it's obviously part of my watch channels. So what is the most sensible thing to do after seeing the doctors? Go and have some breakfast. Okay, so when I went for my coffee the other day, somehow I managed to knock the microphone or knock the camera over, and somehow the microphone came out and we didn't actually record any sound. So I was trying to explain to you where I was, and of course it didn't come out, so it just got visuals inside but no actual sound. So the cafe itself was called the Rendezvous Cafe, and many years ago, before it was a cafe, it's been derelict for quite some time, but before that it was called Fordy's, which was a pub, and above it was a place called Frank's, which is a nightclub, which used to frequent an awful lot when I was a lot younger. So as I said, it used to be a pub, used to be a nightclub, used to be, the nightclub entrance used to be at the side here. It used to be a very, very busy pub, very, very lively. The nightclub was excellent. I used to go to the nightclub quite often, as well as the ones in Ramsgate. But I remember watching the Italia 90 and England playing in Italia 90 and getting knocked out in the quarterfinals in there, and it was devastating. So many people in there. That was the last time actually I was single, so 1990. 30 years ago was the last time I was single, and the last time, well, I mean, I've been single for the last 3 years, but for the last time I actually went out on my own to a nightclub or anything like that, or to a pub, when I was single, was back then. I've just actually been into the Turner Contemporary to have a look at the Turner Prize exhibits. It was the Turner Prize 2019 last year, held at Margate in the Turner Contemporary. All 4 entrants won, so they sort of shared their prize together. I've just shown you around some of the exhibits and what the exhibits look like. They will come to an end soon, so if you're thinking of going, you need to get down there pretty soon, because they won't be there for very long. They've got some other exhibitions coming up shortly. It's always worth a look anyway. And just for a Sunday, it seemed a lot busier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be quite quiet, a bit windy and a bit cold, but actually it was a lot busier than I thought it would be. Hello. How are you doing today?
How are you doing today?
The future is now.
The future is now.
Close to cars, there are exact safety measures in place to be found. I still get lodgings and conflicts before the sun rises.
Really? Well, I would have had tea, or would have had a cup of coffee in the coffee bar at the art gallery, but for some strange reason they had decided to close early. It was only 3 o'clock and they'd already closed the cafe in the art gallery, which is a bit strange, unusual. So I've come here to Costume Broadstairs, next to a very nice black Bentley Bentayga. Of course, perfectly parked on some yellow lines. But the coffee in Costa's very nice as always. And the Bakewell tart's lovely. They have a really strong jam in their Bakewell tarts. It's got a really nice, quite a strong, sharp flavour to it, which is really, really nice compared to most places. So going back with the tat stuff in mind, or tat that I've bought, sometimes a tat isn't always useless, it's just cheap, that's why I called it tat. One of the things I've just actually gone and got, which was sort of needed anyway, but I class it as tat because it was cheap. It was only about 25 or 50p, I think, from the pound shop, was some lights. Now, they were Christmas lights, they had stars on them. These were the stars that were on them. To be honest with you, they were just stuck on, they weren't exactly spectacular, which is why I don't think anyone bought them, and which is why I think they were only going to be 25, 50p when I bought them. To me, though, I definitely have a need for them. I was going to put some lights in the dunny cabinet, so now's the opportunity. So of course once it's down, it's then planning where I'm going to put the lights. So the best way for this to work is to poke the lights through the holes. Okay, so really not very easy to jiggle and move about too much. And it is only sort of like, I suppose it's a temporary effect, not proper lighting, is it? It only goes down a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty much had the desired effect. I wasn't exactly looking for much anyway, it was just a small amount and just to give it a little bit of extra light, so something to do. Other things I've been doing, I had to fix one of my bows. When I ordered these bows from Little Bow London, I did show you these last on one of the other vlogs. The first time I ordered one, I asked her to put it with like a little elastic bow around it. I asked her for the same this time, but she didn't, and they're supposed to have tails, and she didn't do that. She just did them with little clips on the back, and she forgot to do the tails on them. Now, the woman who runs its name's Lauren. I don't actually speak to her anymore. She stopped speaking to me, or we didn't speak on Facebook or anything like that after sort of a little bit after I split up with Leanne, when I kept sort of posting loads of stuff about Leanne, and I think all the stuff I posted about Leanne in the first few months of splitting up, I think probably many people got very bored with it. A lot of people got very annoyed with it because it just went on and on and on, and it just probably bored them. So a few people unfriended me, which is including Lauren was one of them. But I think her bows aren't bad. It's just this time she didn't really put as much effort into it. I think it's because she's come back into doing it again. So the bow's not quite as well stuck, so I've had to super glue the clip back on it. But otherwise they still work alright, and it's still going to go on my, this is on my drone bag, this one.
Please like and subscribe.